Hey, welcome to Bucktail.
Hey, what's happening, brother? What's going
up,
on,
Barry?
man? Another day. Hey, listen, Dave and I are gonna do a catch and cook out on the island for the Hooked on Saltwater channel that you're obviously part of.
Okay.
Mangrove Snapper, that's the species we're going after. They're pretty plentiful out there. So I need to know what's the best setup for me to get out there and fish for them with. I got a setup that I use, but I don't know if it's the right one.
Right, okay, well...
I want to outfish Dave, so...
All right, well, we'll go over the basics of what you would need for the snapper. I already have a little pile of stuff right here because, you know, this is Hollywood. We have things staged.
That's right.
So. All right, first of all, I definitely recommend using a bobber. This is hands down one of my favorite bobbers, the base layer. I use the other popping corks and I find my line gets tangled. This definitely separates it. You got 2 points where you tie off to, yada yada. Everybody knows how a bobber works. And when it gets a little lonely, give it a little snap. And that little action imitates an injured fish and will draw in fish.
Oh, right on.
So, bobber, or, you know, you could free line it. I like to use the bobber so I could see it go down, you know, and see there's a fish there. Free line it, you just gotta wait for that tug and everything. But yes, depends on current situation, where you're fishing, free line it or a bobber. Definitely recommend that.
Cool.
We're gonna go with a hook. We got a 2/0 Seaworks live bait hook right here. I find these are phenomenal. For some reason, this thing just gets them right in the corner of the mouth, no matter what. It's like a circle hook, I swear, but it's for a J hook. I hate circle hooks personally, but great 2/0. Stick around the 1-2/0 area, depending on how big of a mangrove snapper you're going after.
Well,
if you're offshore, I'd go a 3 or a 4/0, you know, because you get some 10-pound mangroves. For inside, definitely keep it under 2.
Yep.
All right, then all we do is here, we got a Fluorocarbon Leader. I'd go 20-pound. You know, these fish aren't that big here, but they do put up a good fight. 20-pound, and I'm gonna go with that Seaworks as well, because hey, they're a local brand and they're significantly cheaper than some of the other name brands that are out there. So Seaworks, definitely a good company to come by. And then basically do your line-to-line knot with your 20-pound leader, about I'd say 10 to 18 inches of fluorocarbon.
That's exactly what I got.
We got about 8 right there, so that would do us good. I'd just go ahead and tie yourself on your 2/0 hook.
There. What hook do you, matter of fact, we'll add that in there.
Knot?
What knot do you like to tie on there?
I call it the Jake knot. I've been using the Jake knot for many years. All right, there's 1, 2. You're gonna put that through twice.
Through the eye, okay.
Cinch it down right there. And we're gonna go wrap this around 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is where it gets a little tricky, but not really. You take that line and you go back down and around. I gotta use my mouth for this. Close up on the beard. And then back through, you're gonna have 2 loops now. It's gonna look like that, 2 loops. And you go through the back side of both of those loops, grab it with your teeth, cinch it on down, and you should have a nice little honeycomb. Looks like a little honeycomb with the loop, that line going back down and around that guy right there. And that is the knot that I use for just about dang near everything.
Okay.
Good versatile knot, big gauge, mono, whatever.
Right on.
Go ahead. Yeah, scissors. Scissors would help. So I don't rip my teeth out today. But right there, boom, that's about all you do. Except for in my case, like I said, I like to use the bobber. So we'd just be attaching that 6 inches of fluorocarbon to the bottom end of that bobber, and off we go. Shrimp on the hook and see what we get.
Right on. Okay, cool. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on out and go after some mangrove snapper. So what you're gonna see from here forward will be Dave and I out on the water chasing those snapper. And then when we get a few of them, we're gonna head on over to an island and do a little catch and cook.
Nice.
So, see you on the water. Cool. Hey, it's Barry. And this time I got
Dave.
with me. Yesterday at the front of this, you saw me going to the bait shop trying to sneak in there and get a secret rig from Jake set up there. We wanted to show you how to rig up 4 Mangrove Snapper. That's the target of today's video, catching them and cooking some here. So what you're going to see coming up is footage of us, well, Dave picking up a few Mangrove Snapper. This rig for me today happened to catch trout and jacks and what else? Catfish.
All around rig.
Yep, a whole bunch of stuff. And this would have been, you know, but this rig still works for Mangrove Snappers. You'll see at the beginning how we set this up. Dave, tell them what you got them on though today.
I like using a what's called a sweeper rig. So this is, and that's what they look like. Today I used the pink. Bring that up close. There you go. So these have you'll see that they have kind of a sweeping head, hence sweeper rig. And they seem to work really good for bottom type of fish or structure fishing. This is about a 3/8 inch, a 3/8 weight, and small. This is the smallest size, which I'm thinking that's like a 1/0 or 2/0 type of hook. I rigged this up. Today I use a 15-pound leader. I use the Zuri leader line. And I tie it onto a barrel swivel. The reason I use a barrel swivel is because when you cast the shrimp, those shrimp tend, as you reel back, those shrimp tend to propel. So you want a barrel swivel to take the twist out of the line. And that worked today. We caught a couple of nice mangroves on this rig up.
Here's the other difference. I was using live shrimp as opposed to you.
Yeah, when I use these rigs, I normally use a piece of shrimp. Especially effective is the tail part. So the rig has a little notch here. So you take the body, tail out, body at the tail end, that way body into the hook, right up against the head, and it looks like a shrimp. And you cast that in there, and that seemed to certainly work today. But I have used this technique many times, including yesterday. Caught some really nice ones.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you got trout on that rig. You got jack on that rig.
Jack hit it. Yep.
So we caught just a little bit of everything out there.
Yeah.
Just in actually a short amount of time. So great way to go out there. It's a fun deal to do with the kids. This particular, you can hear that. This particular bobber has these beads and stuff on it. So what I was finding is if I would throw the shrimp out and it sat for more than 10 or 20 seconds, 30 seconds maybe, just twitch the rod, give it a good pull, and once it knocked, it wasn't very long right after and I get hit. So
one of the reasons this is effective is when shrimp or sea trout or snook bite, when they hit something off the surface, you hear the snap, pop, 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 like something like that. So it tends to draw fish. That's the, I'll call it, science behind it.
Right on. Yep, no doubt. So easy thing to do. The beginning, you already saw how this got rigged up on a braid with a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader and I switched back to a number 1 hook instead of the 2.
Yep.
So worked out a little better for catching them. So with that, we're gonna go ahead, take it to the water. Let's see a couple of the fish we caught, and then we'll be right back with how to cook them up.
All right.
See you in a minute. What you got, Dave?
Got a nice mangrove snapper.
Right on. We're going to do a little catch and cook on snapper here a little bit later on.
You'll be in the pan in a few hours.
That's it.
Or less.
Right on. See you in a bit, guys.
All right.
Another little trout. Quick release. Lots of trout. Go, brother. Slam shady going. We got probably another jack.
Yep.
These jacks are one tough little fish. Upside down and calm you down. See, if you hold them upside down like that, then that just totally calms them down. Kind of disorients them. You got?
Real nice.
Ah, another mang.
Nice mangrove.
Right on. Another one to add to the cook here in a little bit.
Come on, buddy.
If you have not made mangrove snapper tacos or ceviche, you're missing out. Definitely got to give it a try. We're going to show you what we do with them. For a simple cook, makes a great little lunch. So, see you in a bit. GoPro.
Side jack.
Yeah. Big hack here. All right, for the camera. Fun little jack, but not our target species this morning.
All right, so I'm going to fillet these. I've got my bubble knife, got my sharpener. There is a bubble knife sharpener, but you know what? This is handy in the house, so I grabbed this. Give it a few. There we go.
For anybody that hasn't, I know most everybody's seen a mangrove snapper, but just
Yeah,
for the sake of holding one up there.
that's right.
These are what mangroves look like.
A nice one. They're really, really good tasting.
Yep.
Here in Florida, they need to. So these are more. They're all over.
All right, everybody.
We're
What
back.
are we doing? What are we doing, Dave?
We're back. We're gonna cook our catch.
Time to eat. Hey, listen, if you're in the area as far as the Indian River, you're in Grant, Bulgaria, Palm Bay area, and you just want to have a great time out with the family or whatever, grab your boat. We already showed you exactly what to use as far as tackle, basic shrimp, cut pieces of shrimp like
pretty
Dave.
simple.
Real simple. Find your channel markers, find any kind of little deep drop offs along the mangroves, docks, any mangrove
Pilings.
snapper everywhere.
Yep.
Yep. So get a bunch of them, pick you up a little Coleman stove, fry pan, take you some time, kick off to the island, set up, and
And these islands are islands all along the river in this section
Yep.
of the Indian River. So these are, for those who don't know, these are actually man-made islands from dredging the intercoastal and dredging the Sebastian Inlet and the other inlet. So pretty phenomenal that all this
yeah,
is all of this growth has happened.
comes from that. So
Pretty
anyway,
cool.
so we're gonna go ahead and jump into how we like to just cook them up if you're just out and about, nice and simple, because you're out on an island, you don't have everything, you don't want to drag your whole kitchen with you. So we just got basically a stick of butter. Gonna go ahead and just knock off a chunk of butter to throw in our pan and our skillet there.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Hot.
Now I like to use cast iron. And if you guys are interested in cast iron cooking, I want you to bounce on over to Mr. Cast Iron's YouTube channel and check him out over there. He will show you what to do with your cast iron, all kind of cool stuff. So we got our butter in the pan. We're gonna go ahead and get our fillets. I think what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little, we'll go ahead and set them in. We're gonna go ahead and lay them in, and then we'll do some seasoning on one side and we'll season them on the other. You gotta make sure your pan's up to temp. These are our fillets from Dave's catch earlier, since he outfished me as usual. Go ahead and get to there.
That's a quick island fillet job. There might be some bones in that one.
Yeah, it's all right. Just pick around them. And then we're just gonna take a little Old Bay. This is their Blackened Seasoning. This stuff is really, really good. We use it a lot at home. Just gonna go ahead and do the old sprinkle job on. Get it on there pretty good. I'm gonna open up the other end and get it out quicker. There we go. Get some seasoning on these guys. All right, and it's not gonna take that long to cook this fish up. And it never takes long for any kind of fish, and they're pretty thin fillets. So we're gonna give them about another 30 seconds here. on the one side, we'll flip them over, hit them on the other side for about a minute or so, and they'll be done. They don't take long at all. Real simple. Heck, it takes longer to get the stove going.
Yeah, and setting it up.
Pan heated up than it does to cook the fish.
And
Through the magic of editing, we are back now. Our fish is cooked. It's ready to go. Time to dive in and enjoy. So very simple. All it was a little butter, a little Old Bay blackened seasoning on there for some good flavor, cast iron skillet, little camp stove, and you're good to go. So that being said, which I don't say much anymore, for those folks that are hooked on Headwaters fans, you'll know that was an old term. So anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and we're going to dive in and
Go ahead.
enjoy some fish.
The cook gets to taste first.
Well, heck yeah. Perfect. Cooked perfect, great flavor.
Really delicious.
Can't beat it. Water to skillet,
Yep.
fresh as it gets. All right, folks. See you next video.
So long, everyone.
I'm going back to eating.